I'm Joey Leung, and I'm a postdoc in the lab of Joshua Weiss. So in this talk, I'll be talking about a network model that was developed for bipartite networks inspired by a biological system. So this is the system we're interested in. So we're interested in a system consisting of a phage or a viruses and bacteria and their bacterial host. The interactions between phage and their bacterial host form a bipartite network, meaning that there are two types of nodes in this network. Obviously, the bacteria and also the phage. And the connection in this network means that a certain type of phage can infect a certain type of bacteria. So here's some experimental data, some kind of analysis for many different phage bacterial systems. So you can see that the interactions are far from random. There's actually an inherent pattern in this kind of network. So you can see that the network matrix can be rearranged such that they tend to align on the upper triangular part of the matrix. So this is known as a nested pattern. And the biological meaning of this kind of pattern is that on the one hand, you can arrange the bacteria from spanning from the really resistant bacteria to very susceptible bacteria. On the other hand, the phage also has this kind of hierarchy. You have generalist phage that can infect many different kinds of bacteria, and you have specialist phage that only infects a few different types of bacteria. So what happens when we scale up the network by considering larger geographic or taxonomic scale? So this data here is from an experiment with phage and bacterial strains obtained from very diverse locations in the Atlantic Ocean. So you can see that it shows us a different type of network structure. This is known as the modular pattern. You see the networks separates into different modules with very densely interacting components. So within the module, you have the bacteria, the phages infect a lot of bacteria within this module, but across the modules, there are very few interactions. So what's more interesting is that when you zoom into each module here, you actually see that each module consists of a nested network. So we actually have a complex pattern here, where we have a multi-scale pattern that is both nested and modular. So having shown these kind of interesting network structures in phage bacteria infection networks, the natural thing is to try to understand why this kind of structure emerges. So a very powerful tool for explaining network structural properties is by its network growth mechanism. So a famous example in network science is differential attachment. It basically means that when a network grows in size, a new node is more likely to connect to an existing node that is already well connected. So for example, if you have this, initially you have this very simple network, and this node here has one connection, and this node here also has one, but this is more highly connected with two connections. Then differential attachment means that a new node is more likely to connect to this node, which will further increase its total number of connections, or so-called node degree. So when this goes on, what happens is you generate a small number of very highly connected nodes known as hubs. And you have, on the other hand, you have a lot of less connected nodes. And what you end up is a parallel distribution in the total number of connections, node degree of each node. And this is actually observed in many different real systems, known as scale-free networks. So there is a very successful example of using a growth mechanism to explain the emergence of network properties. But this principle is incompatible with phage bacteria system because obviously they have different interests. The bacteria wants to avoid infection or connection, while the phage wants to make more connections. And in general, in phage bacteria systems, the growth mechanism has remains to be well understood. So here this is our model, and basically it's a network growth model. Suppose this is initially you have such a network. We assume that the most resistant bacteria is going to be the fittest one, and we increase in number, so it will give off a mutant. The mutants will develop resistance to the phage that could infect its ancestor. But the virus will also mutate, and we assume that the most generous virus is going to be the fittest and give off a mutant. And first of all, it will develop new infectivity. But certain other things can also happen in the model. So it can also lose existing infectivity. This can be understood as the cause of gaining new infectivity. And we assume that this happens with a constant probability PV. And on the other hand, there's a probability of 1 minus PV that it can keep existing infectivity. So the network further grows. Again, we have new bacterial mutants. And at this time, the bacteria can also lose resistance with another probability pH. So we have a larger network now, and if this goes on, we have a continuously increasing network. So we have simulated this model and calculated its modularity and nessedness. So you can see that both quantities strongly depend on the parameter PV, that is the cost for developing infectivity. And you can see that as PV increases, the network becomes more modular and less nested. But you can see that there's, at this point, there's something interesting. There's moderate nessedness, but also a high level of modularity. So what happens in these cases is that, first of all, this is a diagram showing all the asymptotic cases on the 4 corners of the phase diagram. So when there's no cause for infectivity and resistance, you see the network emerges a nested pattern. But when both of these scores are high, you start to see there's a modular pattern. So these two are the same levels, just I reordered the nodes. And what's more interesting is when there's a mismatch between the different costs, namely that the virus has a high cost but the bacteria has a low cost, you actually see this kind of multi-scale nested modular pattern that has been observed in real networks. So to summarize, bipartite systems can show very interesting structural properties, and they usually have different kinds of possible mechanisms for network growth. And inspired by such systems, we built a very simple network model, which can reproduce the complex structural patterns in actual networks. And I would like to thank my PI and also the former PhD student who developed this BioNet package for analyzing bipartite networks, and also thank all the funding agencies.
Okay, let's thank Joe. Time for a quick question. I will say that there are 2 more talks in the Georgia Tech session, and we hit our official time boundary. So either we can break for lunch now, which I would argue against, or we can sit and let these 2 students give their talks, which they practiced hard on. And if someone feels particularly cranky about these decisions, see me afterwards. This is my fault. I'll buy them
Silver Creamery.
Ice cream or coffee.
So time for a quick question.
And you're also welcome. Question?
We're there.
For Joey? Okay, if not, let's move along and thank you again.